Hey guys, welcome back to the porthole party. We are circling back to the first set I started working on, the first porthole set I started working on. This is the blonde set where I did restuff some of the bumblebees. So these are actually new caps inside of the bumblebee shell. I also use these lovely little black caps here where I didn't restuff them. But I never finished this set. I jumped onto other sets as I got lucky and I picked up a number of sets last year. But I want to get back to this because, well, one, it's not done. Two, it's very similar to the set I just finished off. That was a 28 F20 chassis. This is a 27 F20. Very similar, subtly different. But I've gained the experience of working on that set and doing the full alignment. I want to do the same to this. Never quite finished recapping it either. We still have a couple original caps here and some hiding up in here. And I didn't replace any of these electrolytic cans. And now, once all that is done, I want to go through and do the full alignment. Now that I know I can do it with the spectrum analyzer, and I've got as a backup my 8662A sweep generator. So let's get to it. Alright, all the major work is done, meaning I've replaced all the electrolytics and paper caps. Let's fire the setup. I want to compare the performance of this set to the one that I just finished. Also, that set was missing this component. This is the cover over the high voltage circuit. So that's what I was trying to describe. It's just a bent piece of sheet steel. It's been chemically treated to make it black. There's no front or back cover. You can just see right through it. And it has some holes drilled or stamped in the top. I think I could fabricate something like that. It's great to have a model. Also, it has a little support for the high voltage lead, so it won't go flopping around if it pops off the CRT. Nice touch. So what's the performance like? It's actually somewhat similar at first glance. Now that set had a 12 KP4 CRT. This is a 12 LP4A. That set's aluminized. This is not. And the A, I believe, means it has a grayish tint to the face to reduce glare or improve the contrast, something to that effect. So what does it mean that it's not aluminized? Well, one, we need to have this ion trap magnet on the neck, and you have to position it just right to get the brightest possible image. And that can be a little bit annoying because it's magnetic. The focus coil is magnetic. The deflection yoke is magnetic. They can overlap their fields and it can distort the image a little bit. So you've got the headache of yet another thing to adjust. But also the aluminized CRT is brighter and perhaps a little bit sharper. So I'd mentioned on that project, with the bright shop lights on, I could watch the set, or in full daylight, watch the set no problem. Now this is pretty good, because this is a strong CRT. But take my word for it, it's not quite as nice looking as the other set. But certainly watchable. Now, what I really want to talk about is the performance. So I have not done an alignment on this set yet. I'm feeding in a multi-burst test pattern and let you see what the bandwidth is like. I'm adjusting the fine-tuning now. String on this one is broke like the other set, so I'm just manually turning the shaft here. That's about as good as I can get. Now, if you recall on the other set, I got definition way out to here. On this set, it's dropping off here. So we'll see what improvement we can get doing an alignment. Also, what about sound? I do have a speaker hooked up right now. Don't hear anything. But if I tweak this, we do have sound. But when I get the best sound, the video is not quite as good. The video. Well, it's not terrible. The other set was way off. This one is not that bad. I think. I think it's probably pretty close to being dead on of where it should be. Let's try feeding in some external video now too. But I do suspect, since the IF is essentially the same circuit design, that this should have as good a bandwidth as that other set does. Alright, what I want to see now is what is performance like if I don't make any other adjustments. I hooked up an over-the-air converter box to it. This is Zenith DTT900. And looks pretty good. We have chroma dots like with the other set. Sounds pretty horrible though. See if we can get that in. Okay. The volume's not great though. That's up all the way, and it's not all that loud. But it's certainly watchable, so just to show that they did design these sets pretty well. But I think we can do a little bit better. What I want to try to do now is just to tweak a couple of these IF cans by ear, just to see if we can get that sound a little bit better. But the other set was similar. It was actually even worse, and aligning the sound made a huge difference, so I expect it will on this set as well. I'll do the proper way to do it, but if there is room for improvement, if I just tweak these a little bit. Worse, not a whole lot better. That one's kind of frozen. I'm not going to force it. And there's an upper and a lower core. Well, this is what I should really do with test equipment and not by ear. Alright, let's dive into the sound alignment. Just like with the other set, we're starting with the S curve. It should be centered at 21.3 with the ends of the S at 21.1 and 21.5. Got those markers programmed in, and we are off. The whole thing. Well, the left side of it's off. The right side of it, the trough is right about in the right spot. Our crossover point should be right in the middle, but the left side is definitely skewed. So we're going to tweak the ratio detector transformer and get it to look like that. I finished going through the alignment, both the sound and the video. I never was able to free up the one slug on the one sound IF transformer, but I think it's good enough as it is, as you shall see in here in a moment. Using an over-the-air converter box again. Now, I had an issue earlier where I wasn't quite able to get full width on the screen. I solved that by swapping out a 6K6 horizontal oscillator and a 6SN7 horizontal discharge tube, and fiddling with the controls a little bit. So we got the linearity and all that pretty good. It's filling the screen like it should, and the set's working pretty well. It has very noticeable chroma dots, like the other set that I just finished working on. So if we zoom in on that, see there's all these little dot patterns on there representing the color info coming through. Now, how about sound? I need to hook the speaker back up. And I had disconnected it while I was doing the alignment. The video alignment, that is. If you want to see a little bit more about that process, watch my series on the other set that I just recently finished. Just like with that set, generally all split carrier sets, the sound is the fine-tuning adjustment is critical to getting good sound. Because this is not aluminized, it is better to view it in some subdued lighting. I gotta say, these porthole sets are a little goofy to work on. Circuit designs are a little different than other sets, but when they're all tuned up, they do work really well. Now, unlike that other set, this one does have a switch. So the other set I recently worked on, I find curious because they're from the same era. They would have been released at the same time. Nearly identical chassis, very similar cabinets. But that one is always in zoom mode. It's always full porthole mode, meaning it's stretched vertically. This has a switch, which you can throw, and now we're letterboxed mode, but it's more a 4:3 aspect ratio, so things aren't quite as distorted. And I think all subsequent models have that switch somewhere on the cabinet. In fact, that other set was the first one I'd ever seen that didn't have one. There we go. How about some non-cartoon Star Trek action?
The devil with the providers. Cossacks.
We have been tolerant because you are newcomers. But I see you must be given a lesson. Lars.